Yo, what is good, YouTube? Krishan checking back in with another video. The prejudging for the 212 has concluded at the 2022 Tampa Pro, and this is looking like your top 6. So from left to right, we have Cody, Drobot, Nathan Epler, Keone Pearson, Kerrith Bajjo, Rickey, Moten Jr., and Ahmed. Now for the bulk of this video, we will just be taking a look at the two-man call-out because we don't have closer up pictures of the other guys. But I can let you guys know right now that Cody, Drobot, and Nathan Epler are the most conditioned guys in this lineup. Keone isn't as hard as we all thought we would see him, but this is definitely the best conditioning he has brought to a 212 stage. Rickey stacks up good, and Ahmed, they haven't really put him in the middle to give him a fair look yet. He's been on the outside, so I haven't really been able to gauge how he stacks up next to these guys. So the top two is looking like Keone Pearson and Kerrith Bajjo. And huge shout out to Flex Magazine for these images. When Flex is at a show, we're going to get good quality pictures and we're going to get them pretty fast. So at first look, Kerrith looks a lot more conditioned than Keone Pearson, but Keone looks bigger and he also has this incredible shape. Look at the torso of Keone Pearson and look at the flaring quads. He definitely could be a little harder, and Keone was sweating a lot. He may have overcarved and maybe spilled over a little bit, but as Keone was posing, he was sweating a lot, but he was also looking harder and harder. In the arm department is no contest. Top to bottom, I think Keone Pearson would still take this shot, even though Kerrith is a touch harder than he is. And taking a look at the front lat spread, it's kind of the same story. You know, Kerrith is a bit harder, but Keone genetically, structurally better. Look at the lats on Keone Pearson in this shot as well. Kerrith isn't displaying much lat in his front lat spread. Not necessarily the best shot for him. I also think he could be executing this shot a bit better. But Keone does seem to be a bit soft in the upper body. Lower body looks pretty good. You guys can see the good separation. But as I was saying leading into this show, guys, Keone looks huge compared to these guys. Keone looks like he's 220, maybe even 225. And turning to the side for the side chest pose. And honestly, structurally, these guys match up pretty well. You know, they have a lot of similarities in their physiques. I just think Keone has a more pretty physique and Kerrith has one of those more rugged physiques. But if we take a look at the lower body, it's not a question of who's in better condition at all. When we take a look at the upper body, Kerrith is actually pretty close. You know, I think I would actually take Kerrith in this shot. Overall, Keone arms are a bit bigger. Kerrith may have the better chest. Can't really tell, but the lower body conditioning is just insane. But we do see more separation from Keone in the intercostals and side obliques. And taking a look at the back double bicep pose, and I think this is going to be a Keone Pearson show from behind, guys. Kerrith has a good back, but just not much density. You can see the insertions. Keone is a lot more thick in the back. And as you guys can see from the glutes and hams, not necessarily as hard as we seen Keone at a couple days out, but I honestly believe this is the best conditioning that he has brought to a 212 show. And as I told you guys, I believe he may have spilled over a bit because Keone's legs look huge. He said that he weighed in at 210 pounds, and I know at 2 days out, Keone was 203 pounds. And we take a look at the rear lat spread. Kerrith actually stacks up pretty good in this shot, and I believe Kerrith was having a hard time getting the mind muscle connection with the glutes because in some shots they look soft, but in other times they look peeled. I think this will be another shot that will go to Keone Pearson. You know, I may be showing favoritism, maybe not. Keone has more detail in his back, and in the lower body they're pretty even. Keone may even be a bit harder. But once again, guys, I'm taking a look at pictures. I wasn't there in person, so this doesn't tell the full story. Now taking a look at this side tricep pose, lower body for lower body, Kerrith has that crazy conditioning. Look at the vascularity in his arm. But if we go to the upper body, of course, this is going to be a Keone Pearson show. Now me personally, even though Kerrith is harder in the lower body, I think Keone presents enough detail and he's dominant enough in the upper body to win this shot. Kerrith also doesn't look comfortable hitting this shot in his midsection. Could look a bit better. It could be executed a bit better in this shot. Now taking a look at the ab and thigh, neither of these guys have a good ab and thigh. But much respect to Keone Pearson because he was hitting the overhead ab and thigh, even though he has the ab split. And Keone was having a very hard time controlling his waist. And as I mentioned earlier, he could have carved up a bit too much, you know, maybe spilled over. Keone actually had somewhat of a bubble gut in a lot of these transitions, just being completely honest. Now finishing up here with the most muscular shot, I think this is going to be a Keone Pearson pose. The arms on this guy are just insane. Now, Keone definitely has to bring the chest up to match those crazy arms. Kerrith looks good as well, but Keone just overall looks bigger. He's more 3D. Look at the arm comparison, guys. Delts, biceps, triceps, even brachialis. Keone is just on a completely different level, but Kerrith is more conditioned. If Keone came into conditioning, we seen him at a couple days out, this show would be completely lights out. He would have got sent back to the line, and they probably would have started fighting for second place. But this was probably the best Keone Pearson we've ever seen on a 212 bodybuilding stage. Still has to work on their conditioning. Once again, I believe he may have spilled over a bit. As he was posing, he was getting tighter, so maybe at finals we get to see a better version of Keone Pearson. He probably should go ahead and hop in his Texas Pro just to, nail their peaking process before this year's Mr. Olympia. I don't think this show is said and done yet. I honestly believe it's a possibility that there is someone not even in this top 2 that could win this show. This is just my personal opinion, guys. I might be crazy. As always, I hope you guys did indeed enjoy this video. If you haven't done so already, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm Krishan from Go Fitness. I will be back for finals. Tomorrow we have men's open. That's it. I'm out.